WA Parliament will soon debate new laws to decriminalise brothels and the purchase of sex. The government hopes to improve the welfare of prostitutes and to provide clarity to the police, but experience shows this approach will fail. Similar legislation in New South Wales and Victoria led to a massive expansion of the sex industry, and the number of illegal brothels tripled.
When I was about 15, that whole Pretty Woman movie sort of attracted me, and I wanted to be a prostitute. I thought the money and the lifestyle and the glam of it all, that's what it was all about, and it's not. It's a horrible life. And after 11 to 12 years of doing prostitution, and I would have called myself a poly addict. Anything that was there I'd take, I'd shoot it up, I'd swallow, snort, whatever was going, I was there.
So in order for them to want to be a prostitute, you have to rape them as a child. Now, it also helps if you make them homeless, put them into poverty, and get them drug addicted. What kind of career, for those people who think this is just work, has as a prerequisite, you have to be raped as a child, you have to be homeless, live in poverty, and you have to be addicted? For those who want to make the case that this is just work, how come you have to rape a child to want to do this work?
I actually was led to drugs and prostitution in an early stage of my life due to the fact I had to deal with abuse within my family and within the community, physical and sexual abuse.
My background comes from the sex industry. I was a sex worker for 8 years and a madam for 12. By the time I got out, I was so sad, so broken, so damaged, and of course the attempts of my life in the industry, and also being raped by clients as well, and some didn't want a condom, and when I was younger I just didn't quite know how to cope. I guess that drove me to the fact that so much despair that I only had one choice to get out for me, and that was to commit suicide.
Then I started working on the streets for another lady who was a heroin dealer. So that meant for me, I would go to work, I would do my job, and instead of getting paid money to go and buy heroin, I would just get paid in heroin. So for me, I was in heroin heaven. And I worked the streets every night in Brisbane for 12 months.
I'm a recovering drug addict and a recovering alcoholic and a recovering ex-prostitute. My life, I suppose, the reason I went into prostitution was drugs, and the vicious cycle began. I found it very hard to get out of.
I regret that in some places, here and in the US and other places as well, there are some laws that have been passed that causes the government to join that process and become psychological cannibals as well. Let's put the prostitutes all over in this zone over here. That'll fix it. We'll put something over here and put something over there. Those are such naive attempts to work with this problem. The act in itself is sexually, psychologically denigrating. And there's nothing you can do to make that kind of behavior healthy, nurturing. There's nothing you can do. And legalizing it will not do it. Legalizing it will not do it.
The legalisation and decriminalisation of brothels is actually institutionalising, promoting and teaching the abuse of women, and it creates an ever-expanding industry which normalises that abuse.
In the government legalising prostitution, they are the ones who are giving the permission They are telling men that it is okay to go and buy sex. Essentially what I'm trying to say is legalisation hasn't worked. It just doesn't work.
There are better ways to manage prostitution, such as the Swedish Model. By recognising prostitution as sexual exploitation and making it an offence to buy sex, Sweden significantly reduced the number of women involved in prostitution and the number of men purchasing sex. This is a much better approach. If you would like to join the campaign to stop the decriminalisation of brothels and the purchase of sex in WA, join our Women Are Worth More campaign at www.makeastand.org.au.